Hi, this is take 2. Hopefully this works out. I finally finished reorganizing and cleaning up my craft room. And let me show a few things that I have changed. This hanging shoe rack, got it for like $5 or $6 from Walmart. I put my paper punches, which I never seemed to use. Let me go in, sorry. They used to be in these storage containers, which they're clear, but I never looked inside them. And for me, if I don't see it, I don't use it. So I would forget about my paper punches. And I have a ton of them. Well, not a ton. I mean, I know there's ladies out there that have way more than I do. But for me, this is a ton. I had some that were still in boxes, stored on the floor, getting in my way. I was tripping over everything. And one of the things that I did do for each and every single one of them is I cut out the image with my scraps. Like this one happens to do 2 different. As you can see, I didn't even know that till I was cutting it all out and looking at the instructions on the box. So yay for me. For me, it's going to make it easier because I can, when I'm doing a project, I can just pull it out, set it, even if it's the wrong color, I can set it on my project and see if the size matches or the image will work with whatever project I'm doing. The back side of the door also has one of those hanging . And that is literally every single one of my punches. And even these smaller ones, I still, even though it shows it true to size, not all of them do, like this one here. This is what it punched out. But yet it shows you that little rinky-dinky thing. Well, I wanted to make sure, like these ones here, they're really small and kind of hard to get to. So I just reversed the image and then I can use that. Okay. These bins here, not a huge fan. I like these. But this is the first rolling cart that I ever bought. I did decide to, this blue mat here on the bottom actually was my husband's for his tool chest. He had a couple of rolls of stuff left over. And it's a grippy type surface, so nothing slides around it, which is cool because a lot of my stamps are stored in little cubbies, which I'll show you in a minute. So they'll actually, these stamp pads will stay standing like that. They won't slide down. So that's really worked out for me. Okay, over here I have, let me show you, these stamps. Well, what I did when I flipped it over, totally different stamps, which I just put in there upside down. So that way when you flip it over, you can see everything on the other side. There goes my dog. Or my husband's dog, anyway. Ooh. It's not so easy one-handed. And these wood-mounted stamps have been, I've actually had these like this for forever, since I got these roller carts. And I put what it is. Yes, I have a bin that says, what was I thinking? Because seriously, I have no idea why I bought these. But because normally I'm standing, when I'm coming up here, I can just pull it out and I'll see it here too. Down here I have a bunch of bling. And it's kind of awesome because it's clear and you can see what you have. There's the buttons. And all my Fiskars, paper edgers. This would be the one new thing that I have in my craft room. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Loving the pegboard. I have over here on this side tools that I use on a regular basis. The only reason the Tim Holtz ruler is on there is because it already had a hole in it and it just fit on the hook. These things right here, very cool. I'll tell you what they're called. Multi-tool rack. I actually had to go out and buy 3 extra ones because they now hold my stickles and my liquid pearls, which I almost never use because I forget I have them. And now they're bam in my face because this is right where I'm going to be crafting. Have my scissors hanging. Doesn't matter which one I need. I can see it. These, sorry, let me face that the other way, can hang either way. Which I think is awesome. The only reason I have so many is because the Paper Phenomenon Club, every quarter you get an extra tool. Well, they say for free, but I'm sure it's included in with the price. And that was one of them, the little round ones. And I've had these for forever. They were birthday gifts a long time ago. And this date stamp, I put it here, one, because it fits right there. Easy to take off. And I always want to put a date on stuff, and I forget that I even have it. So now it's in my face again. This little doohickey is where my camera is going to hang when I do my videos. And right up here, I don't use a whole lot of bling, but this is a reminder that I have it and I need to use it. And this one here I actually put so I can remember that I have buttons and pins and clips and ribbons and whatnot. So I just have all my stuff really handy now. I even have my little poker back there. That is my new favorite. Love, love, love the pegboard. Okay, you guys have seen these carousels in probably 80% of craft rooms. Knowing what I know now, I probably wouldn't have gotten it. It works great, don't get me wrong. But that is my tote that I take to every crop that I go to. I have to take some stuff out of that carousel and put it in there because I only have one of some things. I would have taken that tote and stuck it on a small Lazy Susan, and it could have rotated around in circles. And saved me money because these are not cheap. This is where I'm going to craft, so I wanted to have my base cardstock and chipboard very handy. I have my Solar White Nina cardstock and my classic creams and my off-white. And then I have my black cardstock. I have my extra thick black cardstock, chipboard, vellum, Tyvek, file folders, and whatnot. Just really handy for when it's time for me to do my projects. This little organizer, all the classes that I take and the tutorials, the printouts that come with it, go in here. I'm actually starting to display some of my projects, the classes that I've taken, and tutorials that I've done, well, tutorials that I've watched on YouTube and followed, and I have one there, or actually two, I haven't finished, the Be Grateful. I can't even remember when I took that class. It was a long time ago, but yes, I do have all of my stuff that I need to finish it. This is the cleanest my desk has ever been, and it's been this way for a whole week, so yay. Okay, this is my Spellbinders, my Vagabond, my Big Kick, Big Shot, whatever. I even have a Grand Caliber hiding back there behind my embossing folders. I have all my dies on the top, and I did separate them by category, like decorative, flowers, tags and banners, my labels dies. I have them in numerical order so they're easy to find. I actually have a lot of stamps that match these, so keeping them in numerical order makes it easier for me to find the one I need. And then I have my basic shapes, and I need to make tags to separate the circles from the ovals and the squares and the rectangles. I will get to it. My scraps that I use for cutting out my images. This has been a favorite of mine for a very long time. I've had it for a year, maybe. Yeah, about a year. This is where I display the cards that I have designed myself, with the exception of that one. I had a girlfriend who made something very similar, and I worked off of it. Mine is quite different than hers, but the rest of them are all me. And I love these little cubbies. They're opaque so you can see through them. They're short enough to where everything can stand. You can see everything up above them. My embossing folders. And this big tub holds all of my cutting pads and whatnot. This cubby here is the Spellbinders that I have that are in use for the current project that I am working on. Ooh, forgot to brag on my husband. These little mats in front of my craft area and my cutting area. We were at Costco yesterday, and as we were leaving, we were passing by these mats, and because he knows I'm going to be standing on my feet a lot crafting, he suggested that I get them, and I was like, oh, you're a genius. Okay, inside my closet door, these storage racks. Awesome. I got mine at Costco, one of my favorite stores. You can get them almost anywhere. I just like the fact that you can see everything that's in them at a glance. I am storing almost all of my adhesive, anything extra adhesive-wise, whether it be for packaging tape or ATG gun or foam dots or liquid glues. And further down, strings, blah, blah, blah. I know my closet looks like it's total chaos, but it's not. It's just jam-packed. I know where everything's at. I have all my different envelopes, different sizes, my go-to ones for my A2 cards. I don't really use my Cricut. I need to because I've spent hundreds of dollars on those Cricut cartridges. I started out doing vinyl. That's my go-to craft. I just recently, in cleaning out my office, my craft room, got rid of 21 rolls of vinyl. I sold them crazy cheap. It hurt a little bit. I store my ribbon, and I'm having a brain cramp. My twine, if it matches the ribbon, it goes on the same spool. This one holds my kitty colors, like for babies. But as you can see, there's twine next to ribbon. So as long as it's within the same color scheme, it's on the same line. Very easy to get my ribbon off. Very easy for me to find. Okay, on this I'm going to have to back up as far as I can go. I have 3 full shelves because my office is so small. I had to build up. Okay. These racks right here, I think, are actually dish racks. I got at the dollar store. I hold my 12 by 12 paper pads. This rack here has 4 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of these prongs. These are awesome. I got them at Goodwill. They hold the 12 by 12 paper pretty straight, but they're hard to find. And then I also have these smaller racks, which I think are meant to hold records, but they're perfect for just my pattern paper that I have a few of, but it's not a whole paper pad. But I have to admit, my favorite are these thick, bulky ones, and I'm not sure what they're for. I don't care what they're for. They're perfect for this. Store all of my paper and chipboard embellishments here. Not a real big deal there. This is what I used to do. Well, I still do. Just not all of the time. Those are 12-inch tiles. Welcome to my scrapping haven. It's my maiden name, and creativity is messy, and I am very creative. Well, if that's the case, I should be super duper creative, but that's not the case. I have stored my clear stamps like this for a very long time. I do need a few more of these bins, but I grabbed all I could the last time I went. They're not so easy to find in these opaque colors. But I do like it. One thing I have learned is on the inks, I was trying to get as much as I could, as fast as I could, as cheap as I could, so if there was a deal I would stock up, even if it wasn't something I really needed at the time. And I have learned since, if it's not a basic color like black, brown, or something I distress with on a regular basis, I don't need it until a project comes up and calls for a specific color. Then I go hunt for it. Otherwise, I think I've had those 2 years now, and most of them have never even been taken out of the cellophane wrapper. As far as my embossing powders and glitter, keep them in cheap, old, used containers. They get their own. Once I open up a new embossing color, it gets its own container. I don't want to mess with it and have to put it back in its container and blah blah blah. They just pile up. They just stack on top of each other. It's not a big deal. My husband gave this to me. It's for storing screws and whatnot. Awesome for brads. They keep them separated. I can look at a glance and see what's what. This is actually a storage container for photos. It is great for storing googly eyes and pins and clips and rubber bands. And Scrabble tiles. And because it's clear, you can see what exactly it is that you have in there. Oh, and on these googly eyes, I don't know about you guys, but they cling. They have a static cling like crazy, and they stick to everything. So I actually put a dryer sheet in there, and it worked great. They're not bad anymore. I have those containers up there. They separate my current ongoing projects, like a Christmas card, a mini album that I'm making for my daughter, a mini album I'm making for a friend. I do like to keep them all separate. But yeah, that's pretty much my craft room. During my last video, you could say I was a hoarder. Well, it's all about presentation. I have almost the same exact amount of stuff, but now everything has a home, and it's in it. So now, I'm just a crafter. Well, thanks for watching.